Hello everybody, and a warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I am very happy to see you here today, and I hope you all doing fine, even if we live in quite crazy times for the moment. Today's reading will be a prediction for the summer of 2026. And in today's reading, we're gonna have a special guest on a visit, and that is Harold with his runes. So after I done the prediction with crystal ball and tarot cards, he will join in to take some runes for this summer, and we'll see what the runes have to say about the summer of 2026. But before we begin, I must thank you all, you wonderful, wonderful viewers, for all of your support to this channel. I am very, very grateful for all of your mails, your comments, your sharing, your caring, coffees, everything that you do. It really helps so much and gives a lot of strength and inspiration to continue doing more videos. So without you, there would not be any videos. So a big hug to all of you. And I also need to mention that for this summer prediction, we were planning to do a fire divination to add to the summer prediction. But here we had quite bad weather, if you can call it bad. It has been windy and rainy, so there was not really any good weather to do a fire prediction outdoors. But hopefully we'll be able to do that, record that prediction fire divination next week, if the weather allows, because it cannot be too windy and it can, well, rain is not good for a fire. And hopefully we will be able to find a couple of hours in the evening when the sun has gone down to make this fire divination. And you can always go back in the video list to see how a fire divination is done, and there is a video from last year with me and Harold doing the fire divination. But this year we're gonna take it just with the fire, nothing else on the beach, only fire divination. Okay, well, now let's start this reading. Prediction for summer 2026. First, I need to concentrate for a few moments on my crystal ball, and after that, we'll see if the crystal ball has something to say to all of us. So please give me a few seconds, and soon we start. For the summer of 2026. Glasses on, and let's see if we can find something. That is interesting. The first thing I saw here, I saw a huge, enormous eagle flying over every country on our planet. And this is an eagle of courage, of strength, of patriotism. And it's a symbolic way to show that the courage of the people will awake this summer. And it's a strong, strong big eagle. And I see the wings, the feathers are glittering like diamonds. Very beautiful bird. And this is a symbolical bird. It will also somehow, this eagle, awaken the spirit for life in the people of this planet, the humans, because there are a lot of people that are not humans, if you can call them people. Yeah. It's a bird of awakening and purification. It could be. I'm not sure if this will happen in every country during the summer. I cannot see that clearly, but I see a strong warning signal coming out from people's phones, like alarm signal, and people have to grab their phones and see what is going on. And I see many countries being given this signal at the same time, at the same moment. During this summer, there will be published officially in the United States a lot of evidence of voter fraud from the 2020, but also different frauds that have been going on this year. Clear evidence. When we come into July and even into August, symbolically, I see big cannons like going off. Boom, boom, boom. And every time a cannon goes off, it's like a bomb dropping down of revelations of news that will go viral, public news, that will shock a lot of people. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen this year in the summertime, but surely it will come quite soon. A big mothership will reveal itself, will take off the cloaking mechanism, so everybody will be able to see it. And this giant mothership is huge as a city. And this is not some CGI, some blue beam thing. No, it's for real. We are not alone. Not at all. We have never been. Something with the moon again. I don't know if it's time for the moon to show its true color. That is an artificial satellite of some kind. Well, during summer, the war in Iran, I see it come to a stop. And during the summer, I see Zelensky from Ukraine leaving his office. he will not be president anymore. Unfortunately, in many Western countries, especially in Europe, there will be a lot of violent acts against its country's citizen. Yeah, since many of those that do not belong in those countries will be given signal to start do a lot of evil things, or just the fear of being deported back could also make some of those snap. So please be careful this summer, especially if you live in European countries, countries where they have a lot of illegals. Could be dangerous sometimes, so please don't go around alone after dark. Be in groups, be vigilant. We are definitely heading for the big cleanup of this planet. We are approaching it day by day, and time is always difficult to predict on. I cannot give you an exact time when it will start, but it's preparing for it, and the big split between who stays and who goes. And with the goes, I mean go into the new clean earth, and those who stay, well, we'll see what will happen with them. But they will not come with those that come into the clean new world. Some quite crazy revelations regarding some celebrities would come up, female celebrities. And I see them aging many, many years during a couple of months. So something has gone really wrong. It's like the true face or true colors are coming out, and it's not pretty. The media will try to blame it on different diseases or whatever, but no, it's not disease, it's something else. I see a big tornado, quite devastating tornado, hitting the center of the United States, and could be many houses that will be destroyed. Very nasty tornado, one of them, very nasty kind. I see big earthquake. Could be the south of China, north of Pakistan, India, somewhere there. Very big one. And I also see possible earthquake shaking Turkey and Greece. So I see houses trembling, people running out on the street. And even Japan will have an earthquake this summer. So it's very nervous, restless energy this summer around the planet. If you don't necessarily have to go for a long trips, don't do it. It's safer to stay at home. I see cancellations of flights. I see airports with a lot of people waiting for their plane to go, but it's cancelled, delayed. Problems with the internet. Could be that on a global scale, there will be a blackout in communications, meaning a blackout on the internet. Maybe not the whole planet at the same time, but big parts of the planet that will go black. Yeah, with no internet connection whatsoever. I see a bus here filled with people. Could be tourists that will be hijacked by some criminals, terrorists. They will try to demand ransom money, but even if they were given the money, they would hurt a lot of passengers. I see this in a dry area. Could be Egypt, couldn't be even in Greece, Turkey, somewhere in that area. Horrible. During the summer, there will be a huge eruption on the sun, like a solar storm, huge solar flare. And when that hits Earth, I see the TV like interference, problems with electronics and signals. Something very strange. And that eruption is almost as big as the sun itself. I don't see Russia attacking and other countries, and they will definitely guard their borders even more than they've done before. There will be some acts of terrorism in Russia. They will try to bomb close to an nuclear power station. I can very much recommend, if there are any Russians watching this video, to have your nuclear power station super extra guarded this summer, because they will try to do an attack on one of them, and that could be devastating, not only for Russia, but for many countries around Russia and Europe. Doesn't mean it has to happen. It can be avoided if they catch those terrorists in time. A very clear footage of UAP, UFO, call it whatever, coming out of the ocean, a ship, and flying away in a very high speed. And it's not only one, boom, another one. So it's like a fleet. Couple of them. And that will be filmed in high definition. So it will not be a film that is low quality or very blurry. Be filmed from a boat. I don't know if I can say this or not, but it seems like a real demon will be shown live this summer. People to see. A real demon. Yeah. The spark of revolution everywhere. Europe, Canada, Australia. People beginning to stand up. This eagle will fly over so many countries. Well, that was what I could see in the crystal ball. Let's take some cards for the summer 2026. Need to shuffle a little bit first. Some oracle cards. And finally some dice. Okay, and the cards and dice, they look like this. Well, let's see what we got here. In the tarot cards, we have 7 of coins, the Wheel of Fortune, 9 of coins, Knight of Cups, and Queen of Cups. On the oracle cards, we have Rat, past lessons. I establish my own rules with respect for everyone's boundaries. We have pests like mice, friendship, and a fetus. On the dice we have flock, pair of glasses, a sleeping cat, a Japanese temple, and salty. Well, what those cards and dice want to say is a lot of rats, a lot of dirty, evil operators will come up to the open, will be revealed. Who is who? And it seems like all the rats, all these dirty criminals, they will flock together, or they're gonna round them up for everyone to see. And people finally will put on their glasses and see clearly who is evil and who is not. And it will wake up all the sleeping tigers, sleepy cats. People will join together. Families, mothers, fathers, children, join together. They will pray together. They will work together with other families and friends. So it's like the people will rise up against those parasites, those pests, those rats on high position in society, those evil creatures in leadership position. So definitely it looks like a summer of revolution. Because the mothers, the fathers, families are done with crying salty tears for their children. And people will feel they have nothing to lose. It's time to fight, stand up for our children's future. And as I said in an earlier prediction, it's when the time will be ready to get extra help to get rid of the parasites. When those from other dimensions, planets, frequencies that are working for restoration of the universe to love and abundance, when they see that a lot of people that really want their help to get rid of the last of the parasites, then they will step in. Oh my God. The rats here feeding on people. It's hard labor. The parasites. So, a stormy summer of many revelations. Now I'm gonna take some last 3 cards for the summer of 2026 to see if there are any last words to be said. So please show us some last 3 cards. and some dice. And as last cards, they look like this. In the last cards, we have Ace of Wands, Seven of Swords, and Queen of Wands. On the Oracle cards, we have Foot, the Rock, Stormy, Ocean with Lighthouse and Thunder, and Lilies. On the dice, we have the planet, map of all the countries, glancing, and limbs. Yes, it will be a very stormy summer. As the cards in the center, it's a big rock, stormy ocean, lightning, and lighthouse on the top. But in the middle of this storm, because it will be very stormy summer, we will be guided in right directions. Light will shine, so we will not be crushed against the rocks when the sea is very stormy. So we will be guided into safety, into a safe harbor. And whatever is coming out this summer regarding news and revelations, it will travel to the four corners of the world. And where there is no news station, TV, radio, or whatever, people will go by foot to those villages or desert places to spread the news what's happening. So no one will be able to not say, we didn't know, we didn't hear. And whatever is coming out regarding revelations and news, of course, it will make a lot of people worried and a little bit depressed, since it's very clear and very bright news. And there is a woman that will become very famous this summer. And there are white lilies. She could even be called Lily. She's quite very nice lady. Her revelation, her story, her courage will be talked about. Even her sacrifice to help others will come out this summer. Someone that did something extremely heroic to save other people. So, yeah, a very, very special lady will be talked about this summer. Well, that was what I could see in the crystal ball and cards for this summer prediction 2026. And before I will hand over for Harold to do his rune, I want to thank you all, you wonderful viewers out there, for watching. And please enjoy Harold's rune. So he will be up next. Just give me a few seconds and I will change over to Harold. But until then, I hope to see you all very soon. Take care and be strong. Bye bye.
Hey everyone, it's me, Harold. I was made aware that some of you really wanted to have me be a part of Isabella's videos again, so here I am temporarily for this summer prediction. And as usual, I will be looking at the runes, and hopefully this time I'll be able to give some more thorough or at least clearer answers. No promises, though. Without further ado, let's get this started, okay? As you can see, I have this little nifty pouch of runes right here in front of me, and I will shuffle these for a bit and we'll see what pops out. Alright, let's have a little look-see here, shall we? What do we get? Urus, Ansus, but it's upside down. It's supposed to look like this, but it turned out to be like this instead. Tivas and Kenas, which is also supposed to look like this, but it turned out to be this way. So, let's see. Urus usually stands for strength, power, vitality, or healing. Originally, it stood for aurochs, or wild bison. Ansus usually stands for chieftain, god, Odin, or inspiration, vision, self-knowledge. But because the rune happened to land upside down, we can assume that in this particular instance, it stands for those who are below gods or chieftains, such as normal people, average individuals, you, me, us, etc. Tivas usually stands for the Norse sky god known as Tyr. It also stands for leadership, balance, warrior, logical thought, victory, or rationality. Kenas usually stands for beacon or torch, as well as illumination, creativity, awakening, or growth. But again, the rune has been turned the opposite way. Um, so for this, we can assume it means darkness, or shadow, or asleep, or perhaps stagnation. So looking at these four runes here, what is their overall meaning exactly? Or what do they want to say for this summer 2026? Well, first off, there has been a certain lack of positive emotions lately. People have been feeling very down, depressed, isolated, shut off from feelings such as happiness, freedom, or joy. I get a strong sense of oppression throughout most of the world. The average individual, whether it's those who are awake or asleep, have been suffering unfairly for a very long time. And this suffering is not natural, far from it. And quite frankly, people are starting to get really sick of it. So the Urus next to the upside down Ansus rune uh, really tells us that more and more people will wake up and fight back against whatever malevolent force is trying to keep them shackled. The Tivas rune signals that there will come new leaders who actually work for the people because they are born from the people. You can kind of see here how the Kenos rune is shaped, right? The shadows in this instance have been swallowing the people's strength as well as compromising or eradicating potential leaders of good. And I see lots of fighting ahead of us, but through this fighting, through this suffering that we've all been going through, I also see strength. I see newfound power and vitality, perseverance against seemingly impossible odds. The following months will be tough on all of us. That's all I can say. But if you can remember that you're not alone in this, you're not the only one who's sick and tired of these falsehoods that we've been living through these past years, then dark these dark forces will keep losing their strength. They will keep to lose their hold on humanity as long as more and more of us wake up. Find your strength in fellowship and know that none of us are alone in this fight. And well, uh, that was it for me. I want to thank you for listening to Harold. Please take good care of yourselves. Stay strong, all right? Do not lose hope. Do not let these foul forces control your lives. And most of all, stay safe, be happy, and give your loved ones some hugs. Thank you again, and maybe I'll see you all next time for the fire divination. Farewell.